Hi, Andrew Cooper here from Advice for Living Financial Planning in Diamond Creek. Just a fairly quick video today. There was a couple of things I wanted to cover off. First one is many of you will probably have seen the interim report on from the Royal Commission into Financial Services. If you can be bothered pouring through what is some 1,000 pages or something, I can assure you I haven't done that. I've read the edited highlights. It's not going to mean really, as far as I can see, any changes at this stage. The Commissioner has certainly taken a big whack at the big banks and also at the regulators, APRA and ASIC, for being aware that there were bad things going on with the big banks, but not doing anything about it. In terms of any impact for our clients, to the best of my knowledge, and have been looking through, I don't believe anybody is in any of these products that have been highlighted with having high commissions and that sort of stuff. Anytime we've found people in those sort of products, we've taken them out anyway. Things like contribution fees that we found and all sorts of stuff like we've taken people out of all that stuff. Everybody's in the lowest cost products that we can get them into. That goes for insurance and investments and superannuation as well. Again, the issues with insurance were not there was nothing in our business that was cause for any concern, anything that was highlighted by the Royal Commission. So the main outcome from this initial review is that the Commissioner is saying he doesn't think there's any more legislation is needed. There's already plenty of rules there to stop people doing the wrong thing. What they really needed was the regulators, ASIC and APRA, to actually enforce the law. And if there's been a problem, that's really been it. They've been the banks and so forth have been allowed to get away with doing bad stuff, basically without any comeback from APRA and ASIC. So I suspect that will change, and in fact already ASIC is preparing legal proceedings against AMP. So we'll wait and see what happened there. Secondly, on markets, nothing really concerning me at the moment. Markets seem to be continuing going quite well, not going nuts, but proceeding basically pretty well. Australian share market's up over 6,300. US market is up. The two things that have been concerning me a little bit one is this US trade war with China, and I've talked about that in previous videos. It seems to be ramping up a little bit, but doesn't seem to be having a great deal of impact, and the market seems to have factored it in terms of costs. Having said that, US share prices are still doing really well. So for those of you with overseas shares, which is probably most of you, it's motoring along pretty well. The one thing that could provide a bit of a bump in the road for us is what's happening in the UK and Europe with England's exit from the EU, the Brexit. It's certainly a difficult time at the moment. Theresa May seems unable to get an acceptable deal over the line, and we are now faced with the Conservatives have got their annual conference coming up in the next week, and there is even the prospect of, heaven forbid, Boris Johnson becoming Prime Minister, which I don't know how much credence to put in that, but there seems to be some issue that some suggestion that may happen, if for no other reason that Theresa May just doesn't seem to be able to get a deal up. If they do have what they call a hard Brexit, where basically England just leaves the EU without any agreement about ongoing trade or anything, and it's just they become an independent country without any connections to Europe again, that could see a little bit of a bump. But on the other hand, England is not a major factor in our share market. And so it's so look, look, there'll be a bump, but I don't think it'll be huge, and I've just got to think they'll come to some sort of arrangement. Next thing is, and I'll be very quick on this talk on the subject of moving, is that we have, and I've spoken with some of you about this, is we've made a decision to change our back office arrangements. That is the dealer group that we have behind us. We've been with Australian Unity for about 4 years now, and we're a little unhappy in the direction that they're taking. Very simply, they've turned their building society into a bank, which we don't like. They've moved the financial planning business into their investments division, a bit like a bank would. And there's been a couple of other, and there's been some personnel changes that we're just not really happy with. And so we are, and so we've decided to change back office. We're moving to a new organisation called In Focus. For our clients, that will mean no change at all. That right, your investments will stay where they are, your insurances will stay where they are, our office isn't moving, there'll be no people change that you'll see. All that will happen is that on the bottom of our business cards and our letterhead, there'll be some slightly different words. That is the only impact you will see. You will all get a letter from us letting you know you don't need to do anything with it. It just simply tells you that we're moving. So no need to worry. It's just that we found at Australian Uni it just didn't fit with that. I suppose our ethical approach. It just didn't fit right with what they were doing. I just didn't like the whole bank thing, and so we're moving to In Focus, which is a financial planning organisation only. It has no investments or super or anything like that. It's just a financial planning licensing organisation. And the very final thing is that Alison is well on the road to recovery and is hoping to be back in the office next week. She'll probably only do guest appearances for a little while, but it'll be good to have her back. And so I'd just like to, again, a very special thank you to all of you who have passed on good wishes and thoughts and that sort of stuff. That's been really wonderful and a source of great support to it. So anyway, that's it from me. Feel free to pass this on to anybody who you think may be interested. Yeah, and I'll be doing another video again soon.